Okay? So we'll be discussing this later on in the semester. Now I want to discuss how secret societies are able to wield so much power. Okay? First of all, how is it that they're able to keep everyone quiet? Right? How are they able to maintain their secrets? And then how are they able to exert power? Okay? All right. So the first thing you need to understand about secret societies is that there are different layers to secret society. Okay? So in Scottish Rite Freemasonry, there are 33 grades. 33 grades. So you start at 1 and then you slowly climb, okay? Some people can skip. And at each different grade, you're taught different secrets or understanding of the world. So maybe here, 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 you have 4 grades, okay? In the bottom grade, all you're taught is just to be a good person, to do good works, to do charity, to be kind. That's all you're taught, okay? But as you move up, you're taught something else, which is we can do God's work. Okay? God has given us a mission. We must do God's work. Okay? And up here is we don't need God. Okay? The higher you climb, the more secrets you're told. And then as you move up further, you're taught we don't need God. Okay? So guys, I'm not part of a secret society. I'm just making this up, okay? I'm just showing you how they might work. I'm just speculating. The last layer is we can be God by killing God. Do you understand? So it's almost like school, right? In primary school, you work hard, you learn a lot. You go to high school. In high school, they teach you, everything you learn in primary school is wrong. Let us teach you new knowledge. You work hard, you learn all this new knowledge. You go to university, the professors there are like, everything you learn in high school is wrong. So let's learn something new, okay? And then you go to graduate school and you're taught everything you learn in university is wrong. Okay? So that's how these secret societies work. So the word we use is compartmentalize. So it's a need to know. Okay? Does that make sense? You are only taught what you need to know at your grade. Okay? And as you can see, the secrets get worse and worse as you climb. So how do you maintain secrecy in the system? Okay? So there are 2 major mechanisms. Okay? The first major mechanism is incentives. Incentives. The idea here is the higher you climb, the more power you have. Okay? So these people in the middle, all they care about is maintaining their privilege. Okay? So does that make sense? Incentives. Okay? The higher you climb, the more invested you are. Therefore, you want to believe the lie. Okay? Then there's blackmail. So if you really want to climb to the top, you have to reveal your secrets too. So you can be blackmailed. Okay? And we talked about this, right? The idea of transgression. If you really want to climb to the top, you have to commit crimes with other people. So therefore, you can never betray other people. Okay? And the last thing that helps the system is confirmation bias. And the idea of confirmation bias is you just want to believe what you want to believe, okay? People don't want to believe the government lies to them. People want to believe the government tells the truth. So we like to live in a fantasy world, okay? So this is what keeps the system intact, okay? So this is how secret societies keep their secrets. Does that make sense? Okay. Now the question then is, how is it that they're able to wield power? And the answer is, this structure is perfect for a bureaucracy. Before we talked about bureaucracies, right? How as society matures, it becomes more bureaucratic. Well, the problem is that bureaucracies become top-heavy. too many managers. Also the idea of silos. So each department does its own thing, okay? And as I said also, bureaucrats don't want to do any work. So imagine if you're a secret society, how much you can benefit from the system, right? Because you want to work because you want to achieve your vision. And you're able to work with other people secretly. Therefore, you're able to promote each other into positions of power. And because these departments are all siloed off, they're all independent, you're able to control the entire bureaucracy. Because you're able to coordinate, but they're not. Okay, does that make sense? So what we learn is that in history, as societies become much more mature, as they become much more bureaucratic, secret societies have much more power. And today, we are living in a heavily bureaucratic world, and therefore, these secret societies have more and more power. Okay? And does that make sense? The other thing that we need to remember is that there are thousands and thousands of secret societies. Okay, so let's name some of them. The Freemasons, the Jesuits, the Mormons, the Frankists. Okay, lots and lots, okay? We'll go over each one later on this semester. What you need to remember is that at this stage in development, when society is bureaucratic, when they become parasites on the bureaucracy, they are incentivized to work together to achieve their vision. Okay? But once they create the world government, then they will fight each other. But at this point in their development, they will work and actively collaborate together. Okay? So 9/11, JFK, moon landing, they were all working together. Okay? So we'll be studying this more as the semester progresses. All right. So let's conclude. Sorry. Okay, let's conclude. Okay. Sorry, Okay, so let's talk about the atomic bomb. This is Harry Truman, okay? Henry Truman is the 33rd President of the United States. Number 33, right? He's also a 33rd degree Freemason, which is the highest Freemason, okay? Why is it important? Because he's the one who ordered the dropping of the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Now, this is controversial because at this point, America didn't have to nuke Japan. Why? Because America was firebombing Tokyo. You can see the damage, right? In Tokyo, all the houses are wooden. Guess what? If you drop fire bombs on these houses, everything burns. So America was just burning Japan to death. They didn't have to drop the nuclear bombs. Okay? You can see the devastation, okay? This is Tokyo. They burned everything down. There was talk that if America launched a land invasion of Japan, lots of people would have died. But you didn't have to invade Japan because you were just bombing Japan to ashes. So why did they drop the bomb? Well, the other argument is that they dropped the bomb to scare the Soviet Union. But that only encouraged the Soviet Union to get their own bomb, right? So you have to ask yourself, why did they do this? And if you go back to the 33-degree story, okay, which is just explained, it gives you an explanation. I'm not saying it's right, but it offers you a possibility. Okay, so as you can see, all these major cities, including Babylon, including Baghdad, Damascus, Hiroshima, are all part of 33-degree latitude, okay? Guess what, guys? A lot of famous athletes we're number 33. And they are Freemasons, okay? So this is Scottie Pippen and Shaquille O'Neal. We know they are Freemasons. Larry Bird and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar also wear number 33. Okay? 33 is important. Jesus died when he was 33 years old. the word God, Elohim, appears 33 times in Genesis. King David reigned for 33 years. The Vedic pantheon, Hinduism, has 33 deities. Human spine has 33 bones. Okay, so number 33 appears over and over. So the secret societies see number 33 as a magic number. The moon landing. Okay, I'm not saying the moon landing was faked, but there's an argument that it is impossible for humans to leave something called the Van Allen belt. Okay, the Van Allen belt is this electromagnetic field that protects us from cosmic radiation. So that the belts themselves have heavy radiation. So if you go into it, you die. But also if you leave the Van Allen belts, there's nothing to protect you from cosmic radiation, so you could die as well. So some scientists actually believe that it's impossible to leave Earth. Okay, we'll just die. I don't know how they were able to do this. And as you may know, right now, a lot of countries, America, China, are trying to get back to the moon. They're having a really hard time, okay? They're having a hard time because NASA lost all the technology, lost all the footage, lost all the data. Oops. Oh well. Okay. So how was NASA able to keep this secret? Well, guess what? A lot of their most important people were Freemasons. Okay, this is Buzz Aldrin, one of the 3 astronauts. He was a Freemason. Okay. John Glenn, the first American to orbit the Earth, was a Freemason, 33-degree Mason. Okay. As was James Webb, one of the first NASA administrators. James Webb, Kenneth Planck. So these people are embedded throughout the bureaucracy. And because they're able to coordinate, they have complete control of the bureaucracy. Does that make sense? So it doesn't matter who's at the top. What matters is which bureaucrats are able to work together to achieve their vision. This is Werner von Braun. And he was one of the first NASA leaders. And he's a German. He was actually a Nazi who was brought over after World War II to help America build its space program. Okay? And he had a friend or a colleague named Carol Rosen. And we don't know if this is true. Okay? But what Carol Rosen tells us is that when von Braun died, he told us that America, the American government, was first and foremost concerned about spending money on space weapons. Okay? And to do this, what America will do is continue to manufacture threats to justify all the spending on weaponry. Okay? And then she lists the different threats. First, they will use Russians, okay? The Russians. We have to defeat the Russians in the space race. Then they'll be like, you know what? Terrorists, okay, 9/11. Then, third world countries, the crazies, like North Korea, okay? Iran. And then, an asteroid. We need space weapons to protect the Earth from asteroids. And then the last thing is a fake alien invasion, okay? Aliens. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. So we'll talk about this later towards the end of the semester about a fake alien invasion, okay? That's part of the plan. And they've been seeding this for a long time.